everybody. Good morning. Okay, I'm just gonna hop right here real quick. Hello. So welcome on in, y'all. Now, of course, if you're just now joining us, you are popping on into your Q&A. My name is Gabby. I'm your cruise director. Now, of course, there's tons of things that's always happening around the ship, and I get loads of questions. So why not have a chance for you to all be able to reach out and ask those questions right here in one room? Now, of course, whenever it comes to asking those questions, I do want to let you know there's a couple of things that we want to take note of, okay? First and foremost, there's some things I have to avoid. I'm not allowed to talk about anything that has to do with security, medical, basically anything that's confidential, I am not allowed to speak about. Even if I was, they really don't tell me much because I already talk too much anyways. So yeah, it works out for everybody. And then of course, anything that has to do with pay, we cannot talk about pay, okay? Just know that we do get paid weekly. Very, very weekly. But anyways, but yeah, so what we're gonna do is we have Steph over here. Stephanie, I will say hi, Steph. Now, of course, she's got a little microphone, eh? And if you have a question, all you'll do is just like pop your hand in the air, wave it like you just don't care. Tell us what's your name, where you're from, and then we'll get rocking and rolling, everybody. Now, I will say, if you ask me something like, Gabby, how many forks do we have on board? I'm gonna make it up. Unless you want to help me go and count every single fork, okay? So other than that, though, feel free to ask anything. Let's go. Oh, babe, that was quick. Here we go.
How many ships have you been on?
Ooh, how have I been? Oh, okay.
And what are they?
Let me pull out my list here. No, actually, I will say I have spent a lot of my time on Excel in the company in general, but so I started off as Fun Squad. So as Fun Squad, I started off on the Carnival Vista whenever I was out of Galveston still. So the Vista, I went over to the Mardi Gras, the Pride. I did the Europe tour on the Pride, and then after that, I actually did the inaugural for the celebration. I actually spent almost an entire year on the celebration. I was on for like 8.5 months. I went home for 5 weeks, came back for 2 months. So yeah, Vista, Mardi Gras, Pride, celebration, and then I did the Jubilee. I was part of the inaugural team, the Fun Squad team for the Jubilee as well. And then, actually, that was my last Fun Squad contract. And now as a cruise director, I've done the Glory, the Sunshine, the Conquest, the Dream, and now the Jubilee. So yeah, I mean, I guess I went back to Jubilee twice, so that one doesn't count. So 9 different ships.
Wow.
Yeah, in 3.5 years, so I'm very excited. Thank you. So yeah, I did my math right there. Any other questions?
Good thing you didn't have more fingers.
I know, I had to use my toes next time. Hi, friend.
What's your favorite video game?
My favorite video game, I love to play Pac-Man. Oh my gosh, I love to play Pac-Man. Why? Because I just need to go right, left, up, down. That's all. I just gotta run away from the little ghosties. I don't know how to play like Minecraft and all that stuff, unfortunately. You do. I feel like you're really good at it. No, she's like, yeah. Hi.
We kind of wonder when you sleep. It seems like, is your day truly from like early morning until late at night, or do you have a time in between? Do you rest, or how's that work?
So that is a great question. When do I have time to sleep? In all reality, does anybody ever have time to sleep on a cruise ship? No. But it's all about time management, this job. So I've realized if you need the rest, you have to make the time for yourself. No, yes, the days usually do start early. My days will usually start around between 7 and 7:30 is whenever I'll start to wake up. Do I actually get up? No. But I wake up. With this job, you have to kind of look alive, be alert type of thing. And so, unfortunately, you can't just be like, oh, gotta be at work in 10 minutes, let me just roll out of bed. No, so I usually wake up about 7:30, and then you have all of your daytime stuff, your morning stuff, and then also a lot of times, if you don't see us out on the floor as cruise directors, we're probably in the office. Because yes, we love to be on the floor with you, having fun, hosting events, saying hello, seeing how you're doing, but we also have paperwork to do. We also have a team to take care of, things like that. So I usually pick and choose my times during like a sea day, at the end of a sea day into a port day or into like D-Mark. I usually get about 4 to 5 hours of sleep. I know that's not ideal for anybody. You're supposed to have 8 hours of sleep, Gabby. I understand. But that's actually a comfortable amount for me. If I sleep too much, I feel groggy. If I don't sleep at least 4 hours, I feel groggy. Now on a port day, I'm spoiled because on a port day, if I don't get off the ship, I can take a nap. And it's amazing. I can go lay down for like an hour and a half, close my eyeballs, and be like, everyone's off the ship, it's fine. And I'm good. So, it's just about picking and choosing when you really want to take that rest and such. So, port days, you know where to find me, in my bed. Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course.
To get to Fun Squad and Cruise Director, is there like any special classes you have to go through, or is it like on-the-job training, or what's the situation?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, it's actually a really neat process. So, we call it your tiers. It's a career path paperwork. It's literally 32 pages to go from one step to the other. And I don't mean to go from Fun Squad to Cruise Director. So as Fun Squad, you have 3 different levels, and as Cruise Director as well. So first Fun Squad, you have your Junior Fun Squad, you have your Mid-Level Fun Squad, and then you have your Senior Fun Squad. Now to go from one level to the next, it's about 32 pages long. The thing is, they want to make sure that you have all the knowledge, the whys, all of that nature before you're moving on. Because as you move on, you move up, there's a lot more responsibility that comes with it. I mean, I kind of have a whole ship to watch out for when it comes to safety and fun, you know what I mean? So now you have different steps to take. It could be as simple as hosting a karaoke session, also as big as having a sit-down meeting with every revenue partner throughout the ship to know how we can help them when it comes to any steals and deals they have, or how can they also help us, don't do a huge popular event during like one of our events, like let's work together and work off of each other, create a flow type of thing. So it's those things you have to kind of learn. So now you go from junior, mid-level to senior. Now once you hit Senior Fun Squad, that's when you really get to start thinking about what do you want to do in life. Do you want to just kind of coast, be a fun squad? Do you enjoy it? There's actually a lot of people that do. They love wearing that red polo, just giving you a good vacation. And that's amazing. Or you can decide, do I want to be a cruise director? Do I want to be an entertainment director? Or do I want to, have responsibility but not go all the way just yet? And do I want to be like an experience coordinator? So Stephanie, that's actually what she is. She's our experience coordinator. So she's a great right hand to not only myself, but also our entertainment director. So she's the one who helps us out, making sure everything is flowing. So if I'm on stage and I can't be out there, she's the one helping to make sure everything is going good with the team. So there's different things that you can try out. And then, whenever you're ready to go from that to cruise director, it's basically, and it sounds worse than what it is on-the-job training, or it is just, hey, go watch this, go learn this. The more that you have the drive and the passion, the more you're going to actually go out and watch the events and learn them and ask questions about them. So I actually spent my entire time on Celebration learning the events and learning how to host Love and Marriage, how to host Family Feud, the different cues behind it. And then I spent my time on Jubilee learning all the back of house stuff. So, how do you program this? Where does this fit in the best? When it comes to revenue, working with them. So once you learn all of those aspects, you can put them together. Then you have, of course, your shoreside team. There are fleet cruise directors. We actually have Lee Mason, who's one of them. We have, Chris the Flying Scotsman was one of them, but he has left to go be with his family, which I completely understand, very valid. You have Chris Salazar. Everyone knows him as Donkey. Yes, absolutely love that man. He's actually our fleet. So once it comes to time to where it's a fun squad ready to be a cruise director, he'll actually go over your footage with you. You go through a huge final interview that you have to do with the vice president of Carnival of Entertainment for Carnival Cruise Lines. And then they're the ones who decide, are you ready to go forward, or do we think you still need a little bit of time? So it is a long process, but I always tell the team, I always say, if you have the drive, if you have the potential, if you're willing to work for it, you can do it instantly. I did it in 3.5 years, and I'm very grateful for that. So I'm grateful to know that I can actually push my team and show them it is possible. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, you'll never get it in 5 years. What are you doing? No, it's possible. Just keep going. So yeah, I'm sorry, I totally just got on a soapbox for you. There you go. Okay, perfect. Thank you. And then Scott, you have one. We have one there. And then, we popping up. Hi.
Hi. After what happened yesterday, after we had already left court and someone got injured or whatever happened, and we had to turn around and go back into court to drop them off, I'm assuming at the hospital, whatever. What would happen if we're at sea and way out there, we're way off court? What would happen if we needed to get somebody off for a medical leave?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we call our right-hand people, y'all. We call the Coast Guard. And Coast Guard, they're the ones that we can always look towards whenever it comes to things like that. So if you are out in the middle of the sea, and I've seen it before. Y'all have seen it before. Hello, I see everything posted on Facebook. So, like, if you are out in the middle of the sea, Coast Guard, they're the first ones to call. They're the ones that the bridge team will stay in communication with and let us know, how far out they are. They'll let you know, like, what I love is the communication is so strong when it comes to ships, not even just our ship, any ship at all. When it comes to us in the Coast Guard, that communication is so strong to be like, okay, we're taking off, we're an hour out, we're 40 minutes out, we're 30 minutes out, we're 20 minutes out, keeping everyone in the loop. That way, we know, the bridge knows, our team knows as well, because we want to make sure, yes, our team is in charge of giving you the fun, but we also want to make sure that everything is safe. Because if the Coast Guard has to come out, if they come out by helicopter, we got to clear out those open decks for safety reasons. Because, of course, helicopter propellers, they are very strong. And so it's for safety reasons and also for privacy. It's only right. If someone is injured or sick, it's not very nice to have everyone out on the open deck trying to be like, oh my goodness, taking pictures and videos. It's for privacy and respect of the family member and all of their family as well. So we got to make sure to have that communication. Now, of course, sometimes, depending if you're too far out to kind of go back, but you're not far out enough to where you're like, oh, the helicopter, we can actually do it in between, which is sometimes faster for us, is we can even call Coast Guard and they'll actually come like per a little boat or a little shuttle. I say it's a little toot-toot. I'm like, here comes a little toot-toot. So they can do that as well. So there's two different options, but either way, both include the Coast Guard. So they're always the quickest ones to come to us if needed.
So y'all do have access into like a helipad or a helicopter to land?
Yes, yeah. So there's actually parts of the ship where y'all cannot go to. And even if we didn't, honestly, I've seen on Facebook, because y'all post these videos, I've seen where if helicopters can't get to certain parts of the ship where they are supposed to land. Heck, I've seen people land little helicopters on a Lido deck if they need to. We're going to do what we can when it comes to not only our crew members, but our guests as well. So absolutely. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Any other questions out there? Oh, and right here. Yeah. Hi, Scott.
Yeah. Is this your first ship doing Family Feud since you're usually on the 3 and 4 day sailings as director?
No, so actually I was very grateful because I did start off doing 3 and 4 day as cruise director. I was on the Glory, that one was 3 and 4 day, and then I went over to the Sunshine, that one was 4 and 5 day. I know, moving on up. And then I went to the Conquest, which was actually 3 and 4 day, but honestly so good, so good. The energy was phenomenal. And then from there, Dream was actually where I got to do 6 day and 8 day, and I got to do Family Feud as well. So
I forgot about the Dream.
Family Feud is definitely one of those that I love hosting because yes, it is a contracted event. You want to make sure hit those cues right, ask those questions right, just like good old Steve Harvey. We get to have fun with the families on stage too. So yeah, I got to do it on the Dream and then here on the Jubilee. Yeah, we'll be right with you.
So two, based on what you said, the first one's easy. Tell us about your special cabin on this thing. It's one of those. It's small and got 2 beds, and you got partners and stuff. I understand. The second one was when we were talking about the Coast Guard. When you get in those situations, and not that I've been there when we had it, but I've gone to Hawaii 3 different times. When you get out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, all they can do is keep going or go back because nobody can get to you to help you because it's too far for the Coast Guard to fly. until you get within a certain distance and those type of things. So I've had these conversations on those deals, and I sit there and I go, you're right, that's one of the things we're most worried about.
Well, it's something to be worried about, but I'm grateful because I have not had to see that situation just yet. And hello, that's why we have a great medical team on board. We literally have 14 people in our medical team, everybody. We have, not only do we have our doctors, but we have, of course, our nurses, we have our physicians, we have everyone that we could be grateful for. So if that ever were to happen, we know that we're taken care of either way. But luckily, I'm very grateful we haven't had to run into that just yet. So yes. And in the cabin, I can't complain about my cabin, y'all. I can starfish when I sleep. It's great. And then yes, my lovely.
How do you have a love life with your schedule?
How do I have a love life? Oh, I don't. Next question. No, I honestly, personal choice. I have very few priorities. My main priorities are my family. Comes in number one, no matter what. If anyone who knows me has sailed with me, you know my family is very big to me, especially my little brother. My little brother, Jaden, he's 17. He has Down syndrome. He's my absolute best friend. So that is the love of my life right there. So he is my priority. And how do I deal with that? I just bring him on a cruise ship with me. So yeah, I get to have the family come cruise with me. I actually had them literally less than a month ago on the Carnival Dream. They came to cruise with me, and then I'm actually going to go on vacation to go on a cruise with my brother. So, because I never actually got to cruise with him and enjoy it as a guest, like on a guest standpoint. I've always been working. So we're going to go do a small one, go see some of my friends over in the Paradise. And yeah, and then go to Disney World, because why not? So yeah, so no love life here, but self-choice. Yeah.
Who's the youngest diamond or platinum?
Oh, that is a great question. You have to come to the private event later to find out. All right. Anyone else? Oh, we got one there, bada bing, bada boom.
Hi. You just brought up about your brother, and I actually have a question because I foster a middle child as adult. I've had her for 13 years. She's 37, has a mind about 35. My question to you is, because she doesn't really have an ID, because we've thought about bringing her on a ship, but how would we do that? Because she technically can't get like would she be able to get an ID, I guess?
So yeah, so like my brother actually got his first ID, his first little identification card when he turned 16. He calls it his driver's license. So it's kind of cute. I'm like, do you have your ID? I have my license, I can drive. I'm like, no. But no, yeah. You can always, because of course there's two options when cruising is of course the passport or your ID and birth certificate. You can always get an identification card as long as you're 16 years or older. I mean, I don't know if each state is different. I can only speak on behalf of Texas. But yeah, because the thing is as well, is like I actually had my first ID when I was 13 because I opened up a bank account. And so I was like, Mom, I want to save money. It didn't get very far. But yeah, but I got an ID at 13. So always reach out, ask those questions to like your local, your local department. I don't see, I mean, is anyone else not from Texas? Is that kind of the same other places? Texas is any age, yeah, 'cause mine was 13. But yeah, same thing. So reach out. Where are you from, my love?
I'm from Texas.
Bam! Look, any age.
Yeah, but I'm not her mom, but I guess I can have her mom, it's just harder with her mom.
No, yeah, no, I get it.
But yeah, okay, that was my question. Thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Reach out, ask those questions. For example, like right now, I know this is not anything to do with what you just asked, but I completely get where you're coming from. My brother's about to turn 18, so we're actually having to get an attorney to go ahead and go through the whole process of getting, basically being able to say, hey, he's 18, yes, but he's not fully an adult by himself. So we're having to get him claimed as our own type of thing. So I get what you're saying. It does come into a lot of different ballparks, but at the end of the day, it's the home run. That's the answer that you want to get. So yeah, and over here.
Hi, Gabby.
Hello.
I'm Jamie. We're both from Texas too. I wanted to know, do you know how many languages are spoken on board by the crew?
A lot. literally a lot. So the thing is, okay, I cannot tell you exactly how many languages, but just know it is a lot because there's over 1,800 crew members from over about 60 different nationalities. So you can only imagine the different languages that are spoken. And think about it, you have over 60 different nationalities on a ship. All of them typically will run into you at some point. Whenever they come to work for us, they actually have to be able to have English as either a second or even a third language. So they are very talented. There's some people that can speak like 4 or 5 different languages, and I can only speak English. I know. Crazy. If anyone was asking, I wonder if she speaks Spanish. No, I do not. I'm so sorry. I am the biggest coconut there is. I am brown on the outside, white on the inside. I'm so sorry. so sorry to disappoint y'all. But yes, I don't know exactly how many, but there is a lot. Okay. Over here. Oh, hey, girl. How you doing, Gracie?
Good. Oh, you remember me?
Oh, hello.
So if you get sick, one day you can't do Family Feud or Love and Marriage, who would take over?
Stephanie. No, as much as I would love to see Stephanie host Family Feud, honestly, it comes down to a point of how long do you have to be out. So, for example, you all know, we can all be very transparent here. Gabby is sounding a little bit rough today, but it's because when you get onto a ship, your body has to get used to the change in the air, and also, I was at home, not saying a darn thing. I was watching movies with my brother for 5 days straight, and then I come onto a ship and directly, who's ready to hop on this vacation? Like, you take a shift. So if you're feeling a little off and there's a couple of things you can't really do, that's when our amazing senior fun squad come into play. They've had the training, they've watched how do you host this, how do you fulfill this, and they're able to actually step in and cover for that. Now, if you are sick and you're like, or you get injured or something like that, hello, what if a fun squad really wants to step in and they casually, push you down the stairs? Hello. That's why I will never walk behind or in front of my fun squad, okay? I was always walk behind. Now, of course, if something were to happen and you do have to be out for like an entire cruise or something, then your fun squad gets a chance to step up what we call cover. Because when it comes to being a cruise director, like I said, there's 3 different steps to it. There's covering, which means you'll cover for like a week or 2 at a time. So if someone has to go home for some reason, for an emergency, or if someone's injured, things like that, then you go on and you cover. For example, I'm covering right now. I'm supposed to be on vacation, but Kendall decided to still keep planning her wedding. Louis decided to take a trip with his fiance, love life, and here I am. I was like, I'll do it. I ain't got nothing to go home to. So I'm covering right now. But the fun squad who haven't been able to do that yet, they'll get a chance to cover. And then that second step is, of course, acting cruise director. So depending on how they do with their coverage, they can get good feedback, and then they can have a chance to go and do acting as a cruise director, which means you only go for 2 months at a time here, 2 months there, 2 months there, which is what I was doing. That's why I did 4 different ships in the past year. And then your next step, bada bing, bada boom, is where I was finally able to get about a month ago, is where you become fully promoted, which is that final step. So then you get to become a fully promoted cruise director, and then your contracts become 4 months at a time. So if you get sick, if you get injured, there's always going to be someone there to back you up. That's why I have such an amazing team. I harp on them so much because they honestly are the best. I know I don't have to worry about anything happening when it comes to their activities, when it comes to them on stage, because they got it. They got it in the bag. They're amazing. They're so professional. They're fun. So I always have someone to lean on. But hey, Family Feud, if you ever want to see Stephanie do it, make sure you put in your survey. All right, and then back on over here.
How big is your closet?
Okay, well, I can actually say not that big this time. Only because I'm only here for a week, but typically I do have a very large closet. I have a blue suit, a green suit, a beige suit, a black suit, and then I have a red suit, and then I actually have a teal dress, a white dress, a black dress, a brown dress, And red, yeah, thank you. You're like, hello, I'm a red dress. And then, of course, I have all different kinds of pants. The pants, hey, TikTok shop, slight plug. It takes like 27 days to come in, but they're so worth it. But yeah, like when I find a pair of pants and I love them, I get them in like 6 different colors. So I have like every color of pants, lots of different shirts, a lot of shirts actually. And then of course I have like vests. I usually carry about 16 pairs of shoes to each contract. So that probably answers a big part of it. It's quite large. Basically, I'm lucky as a cruise director. I'm very blessed. I'm very spoiled to get 2 wardrobes. I usually need 3. But not this time. This time I'm only using half of one, so that's good. But yeah, but it's because I like to have options, and I like to change my clothes so much because different events you can dress for the event type of thing. So yeah, it's kind of nice. It's nice to play dress up and feel like a Barbie doll. Or in my case, I love Bratz dolls. I feel like a Bratz doll, everybody. But yeah, so. Yes, I do change quite quickly. What I do actually, especially on C days, I will actually lay out my clothes. So in the morning when I wake up 7:30, instead of like getting ready, I'm like, okay, let's do this. We'll lay out the clothes. I'm like, I have this today, outfit 1. I have this today, outfit 2. I have this today, outfit 3. So then I just have to pop into my cabin, take it off, put it on, bam. It's literally like a Polly Pocket, if you ever did that. It's quite hilarious. But yeah, so quite a large closet. Very little bitty space, but I love it. Yeah. Anybody else have any questions? Oh, hey, I see 2 hands up there. We can do like 1, 2 more. We'll do 2 more, unless it's a good one. But then you can get me talking a lot. What you got?
Good morning, Miss Gabby.
Hi.
I'm curious about the Love and Marriage show. Is there any answer that you will always remember for the rest of your life?
Well, yes. I don't really think it was like an answer though. I think it was more of a moment that we had. I remember, so if anyone saw the Love and Marriage show, is Wayne in here? I wanted to see your smile today. No, he's not. Okay, that's fine. Okay, well, I'll answer this one, then we'll do one more question, and then we'll have to get going. But I was on the Carnival Sunshine, and normally when it comes to the questions that I ask, I ask the questions, okay? You're the one that gives us the answers. You don't have to give me an answer. I didn't say you have to answer with an actual specific answer. I just said you gotta write something down. That's it. Well, it was actually the question, if you didn't come, one of my questions is, if you can have a second wife, which one of her best friends is that going to be? And I know, now, I asked that question on the Sunshine. Well, the man did not exactly understand what I was asking. He was kind of like how Kevin was last night. And he didn't really understand what I was asking, but he didn't ask me to repeat it. He just wrote something down. Well, then I went down the line and I was like, okay, do you have a second wife? Which one of her best friends is that going to be? The name he wrote down was actually his ex-wife. And I was like, oh, y'all are friends. And she was like, no, I don't talk to the beep. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I was like, ugh. Well, he sat there like nothing. And he was like, well, I'm just saying if I had to, I would. That was the worst thing he could have done. She got up, she walked out of that room. Y'all, I didn't see them the rest of the cruise. I was very concerned. I was even checking, I'm gonna lie, I was even checking in the system the next morning, making sure they were okay. Ugh. So that is one thing I will never forget. That's why I'm like, that's why, if you were at Love and Marriage, I say, do make sure you know you're coming up here on your own merits, okay? You're the one answering the questions, I'm only the one asking them. So, yeah, that's good question. All right, last one, make it good.
Good morning. So on excursions, people decide not to take an excursion, but maybe have too good of a time or get lost. Do people not come back? What happens if they miss the ship time?
Well, You became a local. No. I'm sorry, don't tell them I said that. That's so mean. No. Now, in the nicest way, here's the thing, okay? If you book through Carnival, you are on a Carnival excursion. Y'all, we'll wait for you. Literally, why? Because we have communication with those excursions. We have that communication. Our Carnival Adventures team can communicate with them. We know exactly where they are, what happened, anything like that, okay? So we'll wait for you. For the ones that are like, well, I want to save $2.50 and I want to book with Cousin Jack. Ugh. Well, then you hope that Cousin Jack will get you to the ship on time. Because the thing is, we don't know how to communicate with Cousin Jack. And if we don't know where you are or anything like that, we'll wait for as long as we can. It all comes down to not me, not Shore Excursion team, not even our hotel director. It comes down to the captain. Now, if captain is like, okay, we've waited long enough, we gotta get moving and grooving, especially if we have another port the next day, then we gotta make sure to stay on time. We gotta make sure that we can get there, because we want it for one person who decided that they want to go and make their shopping spree an extra long shopping spree. We can't affect all other 6,000 people on board and affect our next day out of port. You know what I mean? So that's why we always say, book with Carnival. One, if you think that you're going to get a better price somewhere else, come tell us. We're always going to stress that to you. Tell us. Because if it's the same excursion, hello, we want you to have the better price. We will give you that better price. So come on, tell us, because we're literally, no one realizes it. If you find an excursion with a better price, just show it to us, and we'll literally refund you 110% of the difference to make sure that you can book with us, because we want to make sure that communication is there. So we will wait for you as long as you're on a Carnival Shore excursion, and then if you're not, and it's been too long, we gotta get going. We gotta make sure everyone can enjoy their cruise as well, just like you're enjoying that extra pina colada out there. Okay, so yeah, bada bing, bada boom. Oh, Steph left me. That means I gotta get back to work. Okay, everybody. Now, of course, y'all, thank you so much for all the questions. If you have any more questions or anything like that, I'll be out and about around the ship today. Feel free to grab me, say hello. We'll have a little chit chat. I don't mind chit chatting. Just know, if you plan on talking to me for 30 seconds, we're gonna talk for 30 minutes, okay? So, of course, we're gonna get started with our deep talk, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm gonna casually get up, go back there, grab my clicker, and I'll be right back. Till I come back, this man is gonna sing us a song. Go ahead.